What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So I know I said yesterday I was thinking about maybe doing my bracket. See, as you know, I always do my bracket live on this podcast. I was thinking about pushing it until tomorrow, but then as I was reading on the March Madness bracket app, of course, like everyone, I downloaded it right when at the selection Sunday, and then I deleted it a month later, and then it repeats every year. Or if the first four is actually tomorrow night. So I obviously it depends on how much editing and how long my podcasts are for when they actually get out. I try to get them out by 5 p.m., which I usually do, but once in a while I have to push it back a little bit, maybe like 6 or 8, maybe even the next morning. So I decided I want that to be out before the first four. Yes, we would know the full bracket, but first four, that's the teams in the first four are considered having made the tournament. I figured let's do it now before the first four. I'm gonna go like region by region. I'll do one whole region, then go on the next, and then finish with the final four and the champion. So, by the way, you're gonna be very surprised by a lot basically my whole bracket. So, let's jump right in. So, starting in the East region, we got the top seed UConn against number 16 Stetson. UConn should win no problem. UConn's a weird team. Whenever they're like really good and they're expected to be going deep run, they get upsetted like early on. Whenever they're like a 6 seed and they're completely off the championship radar, they win the whole thing. I don't get it. But they're loaded this year. They're really, 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 really good. They should be the favorite to win it all. You will find out where I have them going very soon, but they'll definitely beat Stetson, no problem. 8 FIU against 9 Northwestern. I got FIU winning. FIU, of course, last year was the 9 seed. And then they of course, had that crazy run to the Final Four. Came out of nowhere. I think they possibly have the potential to do it again. I think they definitely beat Northwestern. They're a very good team. The Dusty Mays team is very good. I will take FIU. Number 5, San Diego State is number 12, UAB. I'm going to take San Diego State. I was going back and forth with this one. I was considering taking UAB to win. But San Diego State, they're really good defensively. They're here pretty much every year. Like every year, I feel like, oh, this is the year that they go on a big run. It doesn't quite happen, but, they're always really good defensively. And there should be a lower scoring game because UAB is pretty good defensively as well, I believe. But I will take the Aztecs. Number 4, Auburn is number 13. Yeah, Auburn should win no problem. Auburn's a really good team. I think very underrated. I'm going to take Auburn to that one. Number 6, BYU against number 11, Duquesne. By the way, shout out to the head coach of Duquesne, Keith Dambrot. He is retiring after the tournament. He's been there a long time. He was actually LeBron James' high school coach. So LeBron I think he's in high school, he was 17, 18. Now he's 30, 39. That was over 20 years ago. So he's been coaching a long time. LeBron shouted him out on social media when it found out that Duquesne made the tournament. But congrats to him to a very nice career. He will be retiring. Faces 6C BYU. That will unfortunately be his last game ever. I have BYU winning. I think BYU is a very good team. I have them beating Duquesne. We have number 3, Illinois against number 14, Morehead State. I'm taking Illinois. This is another one I went back and forth with. But at the end, I did go with Illinois. They're very good. Every year, they seem to be pretty highly ranked. They're usually in like the first 3 or 4 seed lines. They usually do come up very short, but I think they get out of the first round at the very least. Number 7, Washington State is number 10, Drake. I'm taking Drake. I think Drake's a good team. They can shoot the ball. That's a very popular upset pick. On top of the fact that, it's those 7-10. It's, how big of an upset is it really? So it counts something of 8-9, but I think Drake wins that game. Number 2, Iowa State is number 15, South Dakota State. I'm going to take Iowa State. Iowa State's really good. They are great defensively. I look for 3 things when I make my bracket. I look for teams that can shoot the 3, that can defend, and are solid from the free throw line. Because in college basketball's last few minutes, it's free throws, 1-1, Also in the NBA, if you're down 10 with 2 minutes left, you know, you basically just try and just jack up threes, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. In college, you just teams will just foul, and if you make your free throws, you'll easily win the game. If not, now you give the team a chance to come back in the game. So free throws are very huge. So I'll take Iowa State. They got that defense part. Moving to the second round of the East region, we have number 1 UConn against number 8 FAU. I'm going to take the UConn Huskies in this one. That should be a great game. Both teams are really good. UConn's obviously loaded this year. FAU I think is also very good, but I think UConn moves on. Remember that this team is the defending champion. Yes, a bunch of guys went to the draft. Jordan Hawkins. A bunch of guys went to the draft, but you still have some guys that were on my team last year that are still there. Going in, I said to this year, I'm not sure if I said it on my podcast. I don't cover conference wise, but I said it definitely off camera. Would not be surprised if they're back in the championship picture again, and here they are. I think they beat FAU. Number 5, San Diego State against number 4, Auburn. I'm going to take Auburn. I think both teams are good defensively. San Diego State's definitely a little better defensively. They're one of the best defensive teams in the entire country and one of the best in the entire tournament. But Auburn, I think, is one of the most well-rounded teams in this tournament. I'm going to take Auburn to advance. You have number 6, BYU, because number 3, Illinois. I'm going to take BYU in this one. Illinois always seems to just be highly touted and then kind of comes up short. There's a lot of those teams in this tournament that are in every year, and they're always one of the top seed lines, and they always come up short. I'm gonna take Auburn to beat them. So not Auburn. I'm gonna take BYU to beat them. I think BYU is very, very good. And number 10, Drake is number 2, Iowa State. I'm gonna take Iowa State. I like Drake as a potential sleeper, but Iowa State is really, really good. They are phenomenal defensively. That's gonna help them a lot in this tournament. You think of teams that have won recently. Baylor won a couple of years ago. That was a team, yes, they could shoot the lights out, but also was really good defensively. You think, Virginia, who of course seems to always lose in the first round no matter what. They also were a 16 seed, crying out a few years ago. But they also won a national title a few years ago. They're always great defensively. All these teams, San Diego State went on a deep run last year. FIU went on a deep run last year. UConn's a pretty good defensive team. They won last year. They've won a bunch in the last, 15 years. Defense is extremely important in the March Madness tournament. So, Iowa State, I have them moving on. In the Sweet 16 in the East region, I have number 1 UConn and number 4 Auburn. I have Auburn defeating UConn. The thing with UConn is, for a while, if you asked me about a month ago, I would say there isn't a shot in hell UConn does not win the national championship. They are unstoppable. They can score from anywhere. They're good defensively. They can rebound. They move the ball. Well coached by Dan Hurley. I'm glad he's finally getting his credit, obviously, because his brother is Bobby Hurley. He's obviously a great college coach. Him when the championship's gotten him a lot of attention, which is very good. He got a big extension, which I'm very happy about. But lately, they've looked beatable. I know they did win the Big East tournament. They were able to win that, and they didn't have too much trouble with that. They had some close game, but Big East is also a very good conference. And those games are always close. Those Big East games, doesn't matter if you have the top team in the country, UConn, playing St. John's, who's not in the tournament. By the way, you can make a case they should have been in. Just saying, but they've looked beatable recently, if you ask me. So I have a feeling someone's going to beat them. It's kind of like, once in a while you have a team like no one's beating them. Like when Wichita State was undefeated. This is years back. This was, at this point, it might be pushing 10 years. Like, they were undefeated. That team, they had Fred VanVleet on that squad. That team was great. Like, no one's going to beat them. And then Kentucky that year was like a 7 or an 8 seed. Beat them in the Sweet 16. And I think they ended up going to the national title game. And I think they lost to UConn that year. So, I feel like in March Madness, it's very rare that, when you have a team that's like, oh, clear it away. The favorite, they usually don't win. Like Gonzaga a couple of years ago, they're the top team. They're like, no way anyone's beating them. This is final of the year, and they lose them like the Sweets. And then they made it to the national title game. Next year was like the same thing. Like, oh, they're winning, it's the year, and then they'll split the Sweet 16. Like, so, I think Auburn beats UConn. I think Auburn's really, really good. And then number 6, BYU against number 2, Iowa State. I got Iowa State advancing. That should be a very good game, but Iowa State, again, just their defensive prowess is just incredible. And the Elite 8 in the East region, I have number 4 Auburn against number 2 Iowa State. I have Auburn moving on to the Final Four. I think Auburn is a Final Four squad. They're a really good team. You know, Bruce Pearl has been there for a very long time. He's a great coach. It's a very well-coached team. You know, I know Auburn, they haven't fared great against the top competition. They only went 2-7 against quad 1 opponents, but I think this is a really good team, and anything can happen in March. You know, we've seen crazy stuff. We've seen 2 16 seeds win. We've seen a 16 team from the NEC win last year against arguably the top team in the nation. We've seen 15 seeds win the last couple of years. We've seen, you know, double-digit seeds go to the Final Four. You know, we've seen, you know, a Final Four last year. The best seed was like a 5 seed. We've seen the national title game between a 7 and an 8 seed. Crazy things have happened. I got Auburn going to the Final Four. On to the West region. Number 1, North Carolina against the winner of Howard and Wagner. Either way, North Carolina will definitely win. They have a very easy path at UNC. I gotta say, I'm not gonna reveal where I have them going, but I will not be surprised if they're in the Final Four. I think they're very good. They're a 1 team for a reason. Their path is just so freaking easy. It's just unreal. But yeah, UNC, they play Wagner. Wagner's in the NEC. That might be a 50-point game. Not even kidding. Number 8, Mississippi State against number 9, Michigan State. I got Michigan State winning. Not sold on them by any means. I don't think they're anything special, but I just think, you know, Tom Izzo's obviously the all-time great coach. They're just more experienced in Mississippi State. I think they power through. Those 8-9 matchups are very a toss-up. I feel like Michigan State every year, I'm like, ooh, not really sold on them. But every year I feel like, for the most part, they find a way to at least win a game or two in the tournament. You know, they've had some years, you know, obviously when they were a 2 seed a bunch of years ago, and then they lost to the 15 seed. Ugh, I cannot remember the name of the team for the life of me. They've had, you know, a few times like a 3 or 4, so they lost in the first or the second round. But they usually, for the most part, at least recently, even though, you know, going in and looking a little flawed, have, you know, found a way to at least squeak a game or two in the tournament, even when they were looking like a team that was kind of on the ropes, could lose in the first round. Number 5, St. Mary's against number 12, Grand Canyon. I got St. Mary's winning. You know, they won the WCC this year. They defeated Gonzaga, and they did the same thing last year too, and they didn't fare so well in the tournament. But this is a very good team. They're, you know, Gonzaga and St. Mary's are been the top of that conference for a very long time. Probably will be for a very long time, for years to come. This is a phenomenal defensive team. Leaves a little bit to be desired offensively, but this is a phenomenal defensive team. And I'll take St. Mary's. Number 4, Alabama against number 13, Charleston. I got Alabama. They were really good last year. A lot of people picked them, you know, to go to the Final Four, maybe win the whole thing, and they didn't fare so well. Alabama every year is another team. They're one of the first 3-4 seed line, maybe even higher, and they lose early. Now, this team isn't as great as it was last year. You know, they can shoot the lights out. They just don't defend anybody. But Nate Oates is a great coach. They can shoot the lights out. I think they'll make enough shots, because what's going to stop them from making a deep run is this, because of how bad they are defensively. If they have one cold shoot night, it's going to be hard for them to win. Because, you know, they can put up 80, 90 points any night. But, you know, if they have that one night where they only put up 65, they're letting up 70, 75 every game, at least. So, but if they shoot like they usually do, they play their game, they could be a dangerous team. But and teams have cold shooting nights once in a while. It happens in, you know, college, NBA, high school level, doesn't matter the level. It happens. And they're one of those away in this, you know, few weeks from being eliminated. But I don't think it happens against Charleston. I think they move on. Number 6, Clemson against number 11, New Mexico. I have my first really true big upset. I have number 11, New Mexico, moving on. I think they're very good. I'm not that sold on Clemson. I think New Mexico moves on. Number 3, Baylor against number 14, Colgate. I'm taking Baylor every year. Colgate looks like a dangerous team. Things that they are real. They can shoot the 3 ball basically as well as any team in the country. They literally can only do that. They are good at one thing only. They're the only I've ever seen that is, they're literally only good at one thing. They're great at shooting threes and literally horrible at everything else. Can't defend. They don't shoot free throws well. They don't move the ball. Don't rebound well. Nothing else. Until that changes, I will never. I remember a few years ago, I picked Colgate to win in the first round. They lost. Next year, I was like, okay, this is the year they're going to do it. And then they lost again. And then I was like, I'm not getting burned again last year. I was right. I'm sticking with that. I'm going with Baylor. Number 7, Dayton. I think it's number 10, Nevada. I'm taking Dayton. I like Dayton a lot. This is probably their best shot to have a run in the tournament, probably since they had Obi Toppin. When Obi Toppin was leading them, and at that point, I was like 5 years ago. Not that sold on Nevada at all. I'm taking Dayton. And number 2, Arizona against number 15, Long Beach State. I am taking Arizona. My second round, number 1, UNC against number 9, Michigan State. I'm taking UNC. Michigan State does not scare me by any means. I'm taking North Carolina. Number 5, St. Mary's against number 4, Alabama. I'm going to take St. Mary's, not sold on Alabama. I think St. Mary's has the defense to match up against Alabama's electric offense. And, so, and this is where that cold shooting that could come in for Alabama. And if it does, like I said, they're going to have a hard time winning basketball games. Obviously, it's single elimination in the tournament. St. Mary's moves on. Number 11, New Mexico, is number 3, Baylor. This is one of my Cinderellas. New Mexico moves on. They defeat Baylor. I like them a lot. They can really shoot. They play both ends. I am taking New Mexico to win. And number 7, Dayton against number 2, Arizona. I'm taking Dayton. I am not sold on Arizona whatsoever. I like Dayton a lot. I am taking Dayton. So my Sweet 16. Number 1, North Carolina against number 5, St. Mary's. This is, of course, for the West region. I am taking St. Mary's. Look, I'm so not sold on North Carolina to the fact that they have the easiest path of any one team. I still don't have them even getting to the conference, like to their region, to the regional finals. St. Mary's is just so good defensively. I think they're very good this year. Kind of like Gonzaga, they have trouble a lot of times in the tournament, them and Gonzaga, because they don't really play anybody that good besides each other. But St. Mary's, I think, moves on. And then number 11, New Mexico, to number 7, Dayton. That's my Sweet 16. I have Dayton winning. They are very good. Should be a great game. 2 Cinderellas. I have Dayton moving on. And in the Elite 8, I have number 5, St. Mary's, number 7, Dayton. I have Dayton moving on. That should be a great game, but I am very high on Dayton. I have Dayton, number 7, Dayton, in the Final Four. Okay, moving on to the South region. Number 1, Houston with number 16, Longwood. Houston should move on, no problem. This team is maybe the best defensive team in the country. Obviously, Kelvin Sampson's been there a long time. I got Houston winning. Number 8, Nebraska against number 9, Texas A&M. I got Texas A&M. I don't trust Nebraska for my life. This is the state in general. I think Texas A&M's pretty good. I will take the Aggies. Number 5, Wisconsin as number 12, James Madison. I'm going to take James Madison. They're a very popular upset pick. And possible Cinderella in this term, just across the board. I'm going to stick with that logic. I'm going with James Madison. Wisconsin, they finished very strong, but I'm just not too sold on them. I'm going to take James Madison. Number 4, Duke is number 13, Vermont. Look, Duke is no longer, this team that's always going to find a way to at least Sweet 16 now that Coach K isn't there. Last year I think they lost in the second round. They are better offensively this year, but are not as good as they were defensively compared to last year. But I think they get through Vermont. I do. Number 6, Texas Tech is number 11, NC State. NC State, of course, was completely off the radar and had that crazy run in the ACC tournament to win it. I think their magic stops there. There's always one or two teams every year. They were not very good the whole year. Weren't expected to go to the tournament, and then they have like a crazy run in the conference tournament, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna go so far in March Madness," and then the game happens and they realize, oh, they just had a lucky hot streak. Obviously you take a couple days off, and they lose a little momentum and they get shellacked. I think honestly, I think that's what happens. I think Texas Tech wins. They've been before. They're always good defensively. I got them winning. The new coach there, what's his name? Grant something. He's done a very, 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 very good job. Number 3, Kentucky against number 14, Oakland. I am taking Kentucky. It's Oakland. I don't know. I'm still looking at that. That's a real college. Kentucky wins. Number 7, Florida against the winner of Colorado and Boise State. I'm taking the winner of Colorado and Boise State. There's always one first 4 team that usually goes to Sweet 16. I think the winner of that game will be who does it. Not sold on Florida. I don't trust the Gators athletics. I haven't trusted the Gators athletics since Tim Tebow was the quarterback for the Florida Gators Swamp Kings team. That was over 15 years ago. So, number 2, Marquette against number 15, Western Kentucky. Marquette, they're very good every year, last couple of years. Shaka Smart's had a lot of trouble winning in the tournament, dating back to his days at Texas. I think he's lost like 7 of his last 8 tournament games, but they should win this one. Second round of my South region bracket. Number 1, Houston against number 9, Texas A&M. I have Texas A&M winning. Every year, Houston comes in loaded. They're, suffocating defensively. Problem is they can't make any shots. They're, once in a while, they shoot, their team, if they can just score just enough of how good they are defensively, they can absolutely go on a run. But, if there are days like, they just sometimes they can't hit the side of a barn. I think I have against A&M, and they lose in the second round. Number 12, James Madison against number 4, Duke. I'm taking James Madison. I think James Madison's a very talented team. They can really shoot the ball. Three-point shooting is very important in this tournament, like I said earlier. Duke, I'm just not sold on. They're not great defensively. I'm taking James Madison. Number 6, Texas Tech. Number 3, Kentucky. I'm taking the Wildcat. I think they're very good this year. Obviously, John Calipari, from the greatest college coaches of all time. I'm taking the Wildcats. And then number 10, either Colorado or Boise State against number 2, Marquette. I'm taking the winner of Colorado and Boise State. There is usually always one team from the first 4 that goes to a Sweet 16. I'm taking them. Marquette every year kind of, feel like they get overhyped every year. They're shocker smart. It has not had a lot of success winning in the tournament. I'll take the winner of that game to beat Marquette. Sweet 16, number 9, Texas A&M against number 12, James Madison. I'm taking Texas A&M. I think this team is very, very good. I think they move on. And number 3, Kentucky against number 10, Colorado or Boise State. Their run ends there. I have Kentucky moving on. All right, number 9, Texas A&M against number 3, Kentucky. I have A&M winning. I think Kentucky's really good, but I'm not sure they're a Final Four team. I think A&M could go on a Cinderella run this year, and I have Texas A&M in the Final Four. And now to the Midwest region. Number 1, Purdue against the winner of Grambling State and Montana State. Okay, so Purdue lost to a 16 seed FDU last year. Or St. Francis, whoever it was, whichever any seed team it was. No, yeah, I think it was, I forgot. Who gives a crap? They are not good. They are flawed. They have one good player in Zach Edey, who's great. Out to the paint, he's useless. They will not go far in this tournament. But I think they get past the first round this year. They find one to lose in the first round every year. If they lose to a 16 seed again, Matt Painter should not get back to the locker room. Like, that's just pathetic. But Grambling State, where it's Hugh Jackson's coach of the football team. I know it's a different sport, but still. Come on. Number 8, Utah State is number 9 TCU. That should be a really good game, but I'm taking Utah State. This is a really good basketball team. I think they're a little underseeded. They're a sleeper. I got Utah State winning. Number 5, Gonzaga. Number Yeah, number 5 Gonzaga against number 12 McNeese. I got McNeese winning. Here's why. I think this is a really bad matchup for the Zags. They're a team, like every year, they can score with anybody. They cannot defend for the life of them. They're not in, seem like the last probably 7 or 8 years, they're always loaded. They're always elite. This is probably their worst team of this little stretch they've had. So, and just McNeese, they're really good offensively. And I think that they can play enough defense to where they can limit Gonzaga's offense. I think it's a bad matchup for Gonzaga. I think McNeese moves on. Number 4, Kansas against number 13, Samford. Not so long Kansas, but I think they win this game. Bill Self is an all-time great coach. Samford, I don't know where that is. I've got Kansas winning. Number 6, South Carolina against number 11, Oregon. So this was an interesting one. Both teams, their men's basketball programs have kind of been off the radar lately. South Carolina, obviously, their women's team is always a top team. Their men's team, not so much. Oregon, they've had some great years recently, but have been kind of off the radar. Had a pretty good year this year. But I'm going to take the Gamecocks. I think the Gamecocks sneak through. Number 3, Creighton against number 14, Akron. Creighton's a really good team. I think they were in the Big East final this year. They're really good. They can really shoot. I got them winning this game. Unless LeBron James is reclassifying 36 different times and playing for Akron, Creighton will win this game. Number 7, Texas against the winner of Virginia and Colorado State. I got Texas winning. Not super sold on Texas, but Virginia. If they play Virginia, Virginia is not winning a tournament game. There is no shot. They finally lose in the first round every year. Now this year, you can argue they shouldn't even been in it. No, they're not going to win it. And I think Colorado State loses to Texas as well. Number 2, Tennessee is number 15, St. Peter's. So, 2 years ago, St. Peter's was a 15 seed, and they had that crazy run to the Elite 8. A 2 seed has lost to a 15 seed in 3 years in a row. I was really tempted to take St. Peter's here. Very tempted. But I didn't. I'm going to take Tennessee. I think they're a good team. They're usually pretty highly ranked. I think they're a good team. I'm going to take them. That one I'm a little worried about. That's the one, that you would think, no one's going to pick a 15 seed to win. Keep your eye for that game. That could be as long as that one game is like, what the hell? How did that happen in the tournament? That might be it. So keep your eye peeled. I am going to take Tennessee. I have yet to take a 15 or 16 seed ever in this bracket. If a 15 or 16 wins this year, that will change next year. Just a 1 year long warning. Number 1, Purdue is number 8, Utah State. I'm taking Utah State. Purdue is not going anywhere. They have one good player. Zach Edey, outside the paint, he is useless. He's not an NBA talent. They have no one. They need people around that can shoot, and they don't have it. Utah State's going to beat them. Number 12, McNeese against number 4, Kansas. I am taking McNeese. I like them a lot. They can really shoot the ball. They are dangerous. Kansas, I'm not sold on. I'm going to take McNeese. Kansas dealing with some injuries as well. I'm taking McNeese. Number 6, South Carolina is number 3, Creighton. I am taking Creighton. This one, they're really good. I'm taking Creighton. Number 7, Texas over against number 2, Tennessee. I am taking the Longhorns in this one. They're my favorite team, but I'm not so on Tennessee. It's why I'm very worried that they might lose to St. Peter's. In the Sweet 16, I have, it's going to be number 8, Utah State against number 12, McNeese. As you can see, I picked a lot of crazy upsets in this one. I have Utah State winning. I think this team is really, really good. McNeese's run ends there. I got Utah State winning. Number 3, Creighton against number 7, Texas. I'm going to pick Creighton. I went back and forth for a while last night, thinking, Creighton or Texas, but I think Creighton's really, really good. Shout out to Big East. I'm taking Creighton. In the Elite 8, number 8, Utah State plays number 3, Creighton. I'm going to take Utah State. I think they are a great team. I think we're going to have a crazy Final Four this year, kind of like we had last year. I'm taking Utah State. In the Final Four, number 4 Auburn against number 7 Dayton. I am taking Auburn. They are a great team. And then on the other side, number 9 Texas A&M against number 8 Utah State. I am taking Utah State. And in the national championship on April 8th at State Farm Stadium, number 4 Auburn against number 8 Utah State. I am picking Auburn to win 70-70. They will be your 2024 or 2024 national champions of college basketball. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my NHL trade deadline recap. I know it's a little bit late, but I'm going to do that, and we'll talk about some other stuff as well, of course. And MLB preview. I'm hoping to do that by early next week. I'm running out of time to do that. That's in that's in 9 days. So that will be within the next week. I'll be doing that. So stay tuned. I'm gonna talk some wrestling as well. WrestleMania, by the way, is right around the corner. It is less than 3 weeks. I am so excited. So keep your eyes peeled for all that. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.